you in the club? Hey guys, welcome back. On today's episode, I am going to show you how to make your own Barbie doll float. These are actually pretty easy to make and don't require that many materials. So you do need some Orbeez. Now you can find these just about anywhere, Walmart or Target or Toys R Us, and you can even buy them online. They start off really small and then you add water and they absorb the water. So they're really cool. You also need parchment paper and clear vinyl, and I'm actually just using a clear shower curtain. And you will also need an iron. So depending on your age, you'll need some help with this. The way that I measured my vinyl was I used Princess Anna as my doll, and then I just made sure that it was just about the right size for her. So I have one piece, and then I cut out a piece of parchment paper, which gosh, you can hardly see because my table's white. There. I cut one out a little bit longer than the vinyl. And then I also have the second piece of vinyl, which is cut the same size. So you might be wondering about the purpose of this parchment paper, and I will tell you what that is for. I put some pink tissue paper down, so you should be able to see that better now. So as you can see, I have two pieces of vinyl, and the parchment paper goes in between them because that will provide a barrier, because I'm going to melt the two pieces of vinyl together. So where the vinyl is touching, it will melt together, and wherever the parchment paper is, it will create a barrier so that the two pieces of vinyl cannot melt together or will not melt together. And that's because we're going to take the parchment paper out, and it's going to be almost like a baggie, and then we're going to fill it with the Orbeez. So I'm going to start. It'll make more sense once we get going. Okay, my iron is heating up, and I just wanted to point out why this side has the longer piece of parchment paper. And again, it's because I want to create the barrier so that the vinyl will not adhere on this end, because we need to be able to place the Orbeez inside. So after we do that, I'll pull this out and then I'll iron it, and then the vinyl will be finished on that side as well. But we need one side to be open. So we've got everything lined up, and there is another important step, which is to cover the whole thing with another piece of parchment paper. And if you don't do that, you will ruin your iron, because the vinyl from the top layer will melt right onto your iron, and that will be awful. So the top piece of parchment paper is very important. And once your iron is hot, you are ready to go. Once you are certain that you have ironed it all, you can pull off the parchment paper, and I'm going to pull up the vinyl. It looks like some of the tissue paper is stuck to it. I should have put parchment paper on the bottom too. I didn't think about that. When I made my little test floaty, I did it right on my counter. I didn't do it on pink tissue paper. Oh no! Oh boy. I'm gonna have to peel that off. Okay, so I've got that taken care of, and now you can see this a little better. So see how Princess Anna fits right there. And you just reach in and kind of wiggle the parchment paper out. So now we're gonna fill this with Orbeez. See how that melted on the edges? Isn't that cool? You want to make sure that you have enough Orbeez that they will fill the whole thing, but not so many that you can't iron it shut. So I think this is about the right amount. And then we're gonna add just, whoa! I knocked Princess Anna right over here. Let's get her out of the way. I'm gonna add a little bit of water, and then we're going to seal this end. And I'm just adding the water so that the Orbeez don't dry out. Because if they dry out, they'll turn into teeny tiny little balls again. So we'll get that the way that we want it. And now we're gonna put all the Orbeez on one end. And then we're going to iron on this end without using any parchment paper between the two pieces of vinyl, and that will seal it. Still want to I definitely want to put the parchment paper underneath this time. And then a little bit over the top, and that's just to protect my iron. And here we go. Okay, so that is all set. I'm gonna pull this all away, and then I'm gonna let that cool for just a minute. Once this cools a little bit, I'm going to trim up this end so that it looks a little better, but look, isn't that cool? Now you may notice that on this side there are some little white lines, and that is just from the parchment paper. This is the side that I ironed on, and so it was hotter. And this side on the back is more clear, so it's just from the heat, but one side won't look as nice as the other side. But I think overall these are so cool looking. It's like a perfect little Orbeez bed for your Barbie doll. You could use it as a bed, you could use it as a float. It's really cool. Okay, let's make another one. All right, this time I have some parchment paper on top of my pink tissue paper. I have my two pieces of vinyl. I have parchment paper between them to prevent them from sticking to one another. And I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna put my parchment paper over the whole thing, but I'm gonna try to only iron on the edges to see if we can keep the middle section clear so that we can really see the Orbeez. There's some kind of a little bubble or something. Okay, let's see if that made any difference. Ooh, I think it did. It looks very clear. Ooh, can we get the parchment paper out? Oh no. There we go. So here's our little sleeping bag, and it definitely looks clearer. The vinyl looks clear. Perfect. Okay, so now we need to fill it up, and that looks about right. So we're going to add a little water and then seal this end. And we have pool float number 2, and this one is definitely not as cloudy. It's very clear. Okay, so you can really see a pretty significant difference in the one that I tried only to iron on the outside. So you guys can learn from me and do it that way. It's still totally fine. It's completely sealed. It's just much clearer. See that? And it's like that on both sides. So this one is extra beautiful. Let's see, we'll put Anna on this because this one's a little shorter, and we'll put Barbie on this one. And I think they are in for lots of pool and bath time fun with these. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Looks like Barbie and Princess Anna are having lots of fun. And you know what? I think you could use these just about any place. You could use them in a pool, in a sink, or in the bathtub. Let me know what you think, okay? Do you guys think this is cool? I think it turned out pretty cool. This is Amy Jo, DCTC. And as always, thanks for watching.